Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Now today is going to be another event video where we are going to be discussing the gut stitcher and the hook implant. So kind of similar to the short fuse crossbow and mimic implant, not mimic, it was something else. You never exactly what it is I'm talking about. In that kind of video there was a discussion of both these kind of items being released at the same time and what it kind of implements with each other. There's a Mastercraft implant now in Ember. Now, there is a bit of a kind of fundamental difference in terms of that video and this one, and obviously it's going to be a bit more different to discuss since it's kind of different ways to use or utilize these kind of items within the game. So, right off the bat, what I'll start off with first is the Gut Stitcher, which I've got here. Low ammo, mind you, but it's still pretty damn good. You will probably have seen the 7 videos I've made with effort so far, where it's showing off obviously gameplay, it's the review, it's showing in how handles hordes in different areas, even killing a volatile leaper. Just kind of a comparison of sorts, and I have to admit, I pretty much think this genuinely is the best SMG at this point in time. Now, one of the kind of things I have noticed is there's quite a number of Marauder Glazers kind of thing in the game. So, for those who don't know, there's people that's been kind of going to saying that the Marauder is the best SMG, and for a small amount of time, yes, it actually was the best SMG in the game. Don't get me wrong, SMGs were still bad at that point. It was still one of the best SMGs there. It is still one of the best, it's just not the best. Now, there is just a few. Now, look away for a second. um, so, there's some fundamental differences between the Gut Stitcher and the Marauder 55. And one of the things, obviously, is quite evident is the damage drop off, the rate of fire, how much it holds in a mag as well. Like, those are kind of big differences between the Gut Stitcher and the Marauder. But that is only in favour of the Marauder. You still have kind of the same setup for both SMGs anyway. You just have a better workaround with the Gut Stitcher, in honesty. So, for me, the Gut Stitcher has a lot more versatility in terms of how you can work around. It is yet again one of those weapons that always crits, so you can spec into other stuff. So say for example, if I started a new account today, I wanted to use the Gut Stitcher on it, what I would do is I would do 35 strength just to get that requirement, and obviously the rest of the machine gun. I would also then, up the game's lagging as you can see, I would also then decide, you know what, I'm going to bypass critical altogether, go into explosives, but I'm going to make sure I get reload and dexterity, because obviously you want that rate of fire, you also want that quick reload, which is going to give you that kind of stopping power that's going to save your life in this game at times. Whereas with the Marauder, you need to have that critical chance there, and it just can't eat stats. So from a stat perspective, the Gut Stitcher is the best. Now let's talk about some of the other stuff attached to the Gut Stitcher, which is the stun chance it has attached to it. I'm pretty sure if I remember right, it's 25% chance for 0.3 seconds, which in the long term of things isn't amazing, but if you're on a new account, you are playing from scratch, you are going to have that chance to kind of survive a horde that you're not potentially overly prepared for or have a damage for, and that is massive. I know obviously we've got a supply officer kind of thing coming in, and we might discuss that at a later point, or I might have a comment on it in this video, I don't know yet. There is kind of just a lot of stuff there that can help, but with the Gut Stitcher, your damage just will go up and up and up with any damage increase. Obviously, that's just always critical, so you're kind of safe in that end. It's a Rage Implant, okay, great, fantastic. So for me, the Gut Stitcher is the best current SMG within the game. Those who are saying the Marauder's better, the only aspects it's better is, like, again, the amount you put in, you have in the magazine, 200 I think it was, the rate of fire, and the damage drop off. Everything else falls in line with the Gut Stitcher, and the Gut Stitcher also even has the ability to not make enemies explode, so it makes it a lot more better at any stage within this game, to be honest, because you've got Green Rumblers, you've got Brutes, you've got Black Bones, you've got also things that explode in the Raven Ridge, you've got Cystic Rumblers down here in Death Row, you've got these kind of different ones, even the Mothers for example as well, in Pumpkin Queen. Like all these different ones do explode, and this weapon alone actually stops it, which is actually phenomenal for what it is. Now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't have as much armor penetration as the Marauder. I guess another thing Marauder does have, I'll be transparent with that because I'll never off the top of my head. So it does kind of have its own pros and cons, but because of the limited edition version of this Gut Stitcher, there is more versatility, there is more usage out of it than the Marauder. Even I'm grinding a lot more of my mastery with the Marauder, with the Gut Stitcher than I did with the Marauder when I bought it. And I'm actually enjoying the Gut Stitcher a lot more. The look of it is just better as well, to be honest. The next thing I'm going to move on to discuss is actually the hook implant. Now, this is quite a controversial one to have been added. People were skeptical of what it does, and even to this day, people don't think it's actually worth it. And given that opinion, I can understand why people think that. So on the left side here, you can see actually with where my pointer is, 200% implant loot chance. Now you might be thinking, okay, so that's quite a big beefy boost on that. That's going to net us a lot of stuff, right? Not particularly. So I've done 3 runs in Death Row today, like in the space of this video, previous one, and the run before that. I've only looted 2 rage implants, and yeah, they'll sell, they'll do something with it, it's fine, but you probably need to mimic it to make it best, and that's where I'm not doing that. I'm doing the Mastercraft implant because it is just fundamentally better for looting overall. The thing I need to kind of highlight is for 400 credits at this point, obviously it is on a 33% discount plus the Go membership discount. You will actually benefit from this if you are someone who has a lot of implants basically. For myself, I have 3 different builds. I have 1 grinding, 2 looting, and 3 which I've named Speed Demon, where I have 230% speed boost, which is great. Obviously that's on top of my ultra boost as well. So I've got them. So when I'm in the city, I can run from the bunker down to Death Row, Raven Ridge, any of the event bosses in general, get to that instance, then swap over to my looting build, and I actually benefit a lot more. What I have been finding is I am doing it a lot more often now, because I'm getting more benefit from it due to the amount of implants I actually do have on this account. Well, have in general, really, it's not just I have actual limited edition ones. So you do get quite a good bit of benefit from it in that aspect. Obviously, if somebody who doesn't have much implants or doesn't have multiple kind of builds, you're not really going to benefit from this. The implant percentage chance to increase loot chance, it's negligible in my opinion. It's something that potentially could be buffed as well, but I don't know the rates for implants in general. It's just maybe something that it's just there for the actual reason to use the bucket in the city. The bucket usage in the city really is a key feature for this, I think, and it does work really well. It does, like, I've used this word several times now, the versatility from your builds with the implants, you really do get a good usage out of them. You're going to scream, you little bitch. So I would recommend, if you do have that those implants, use it. Create those specific builds. You want to run to the Devil Hound with the Eviscerator on your Godcraft, there you go. You do that. You get your speed set up on, you run to it, you got damage set up with that, okay, then swap to that in mid-battle. I think there is something to be said about it, because it also does open up the opportunity with the hook implant that the other stuff that was teased is actually viable. There is, like for example, one that comes off the top of my head is the one that was shown, and that's the evade slash dodge implant thing. There was also enough thread of other leaks giving more specifics in regards to, say for example, there's a few other ones that just helps with gameplay. One where you take less damage over bio resistances. You don't take damage as much damage from exploding rumbles kind of thing. There was one where you get increased master again, which would have been fantastic about a year ago, not gonna lie. But it opens up the game to those opportunities. Obviously at this stage in time, it might not be released in this current build of the game. What we probably waiting to see is they will become around the time when Unity 5 is part of the system, and a lot of the kit aspect from that is quite important, because we are already seeing something quite similar to that with the Pumpkin Queen, and how Clayton has visualised how he wants Unity 5 to be built, how he wants it to be looking as pristine in the shape of improvements and modernisation. Obviously, I'm the pawn. Uh, it's his game, fundamentally, but he's been quite hands off, so it's Clayton that's I feel that from my perspective is driving that kind of feature. So obviously, with these improvements and such, as a round of applause for Clayton in that kind of regard. Feedback I can give for the introduction of these two current items. The Gut Stitcher you don't need to do anything with. I don't feel as if it really needs any buff. Don't get me wrong, if you make it more damage or give a stun chance a bit longer, I'm not going to complain. I'm actually going to be happy to make it even better. Hook Implant, I would probably say you need to either double it or increase the loot rate of implants or something, because I'm not too sure if the current usage of it right now is optimal. It's just obviously it feels as if the key feature is a bucket, and if that isn't anything, then fair enough, I would say go ahead with it. The other thing I would like to kind of point out as well is currently we've got a thing added into the game called the Supply Officer. Now this is the thing that's giving me the extra boosts for damage basically, where I have the combat increased stats like damage, speed, experience, incoming damage reduction, and attack speed. Like all that is obviously inclined with that. So for 250 million, you reach each tier, you get 2 random improvements, but every day one goes down. It's an interesting feature to say the least. It's great to help out the community and such, but you are also thinking long term that is fundamentally not going to survive, because unless a band of people say, you know what, we are going to make sure we donate per day, it's not going to really work out, is it? And I don't see the long term of it being. I feel as if it might crash, basically, is the best way to put it. So there is that potentiality for it to crash. I could be wrong. I hope this part of this segment ages horribly and it's the most thriving thing yet. Because the boosts for new players and existing players alike are amazing. Like I'm not going to sit and say it's not. Having those combat improvements makes things a lot easier. As you can see, I'm doing 1k damage on my looting build. Or nearly got a craft Jizo. Who you got? 18, you got Hanging Box. I will keep you because you'll be good. Yeah. So I'm hoping things go pretty damn well with it. I do have one more thing, Clayton, if you're ever watching this, I've got a very game-breaking thing I need to ask you. And it is very, very important you remember to answer this if you can. When are you going to fix the goddamn crows in death row?